Have you ever wondered how much of the Rutherford County real estate market is made up of new construction? Yeah, we get asked that question on a regular basis, and we've got the answers for you. So, exciting edition of the Murfreesboro Real Estate Report today. We will answer the question about new construction. We're going to look a little bit into mortgage rates and also put our Turner Victory Team Health Score on the market for this week. So we appreciate you tuning in. I am John Turner. I am with the Turner Victory Team of Onward Real Estate, and we bring you this report every week. Please do us a favor. Go ahead, click below. Go ahead and subscribe. And also just put in there, give us a wave, say hi, something. Let us know you're listening in. Our channel continues to grow, which tells us that we feel like we're bringing some valuable information to you. But we also are open to bringing other information about the market to you as well. So if you have specific questions, please drop those in the comments as well, and we will try to get to those. So let's go ahead. Let me switch over here to where we need to be on the computer screen. All right. First of all, like we do every week, we're going to start out with our market details. This week, our market health report, the score that we're giving it is a 49, and this is based upon a lot of different things. It's a formula we've come up with, but some of the items that go into this is the month supply for our area, which we're about 3.4 months supply, and we'll get into some of these more in details here in a minute. The inventory trend, the true average days on the market. And remember, we look at not just what the MLS is showing, but we go all the way back to when that house was originally listed this time around and try to come up with a true score for that. Sometimes in this market, we're hearing some companies and some different things are wanting to hide the days on the market. And I get that. They're trying to protect the sellers. But we feel like if you have true data, it helps you make a better decision whether you're a seller or a buyer. So we try to bring that to you. The 30-year fixed rate, 6.11%. The affordability, we put that as good. And again, I will explain that to you. That does not mean that things are super affordable. We know things have gotten harder to afford over the past several years. But the good means we're trending in the right direction. And we've got some really good information to show you here towards the end of the show about what income it takes in the Nashville area to actually afford a typical home. So we've got a chart on that, and we're going to look at some historical stuff. But it's really interesting and telling, but there's some good news to it as we look at that as well. We won't get into the details about active listings and everything, a whole lot like that, but these are just some other stats that we like to pull in. Let's look at the weekly report for Rutherford County. Now, for those of you who tune in on a regular basis, you're going to see that this looks a little bit different. You see some blue data there. We decided to bring in new construction and what percentage that makes up of each of these price ranges, and we think this is very helpful. So just beside the active here, you got new construction percent. So like there's 82 active homes right now under 300,000 in Rutherford County. Well, 3.7% of those are new construction. So you didn't think there was any new construction below 300,000, did you? A lot of people didn't. So and then so it's same thing. So not only for active, any new listings that came on, that's the percentage of new construction. Same for pending and for closed. But if we scroll down to the bottom, we can see that 1,369 homes are available on the market this week. Almost 40% of those, so almost basically 4 in 10 homes that are on the market are new construction. There's 140 new listings. Out of those new listings, 42% of those are new construction. We had 125 homes go under. Let me see if I can't let me adjust this just one little thing here so you can see that a little bit better there. Hopefully y'all can see that a little bit better. So the pending column is right here. So 125 pending this week. That means nearly 1 out of 4, or a little over 1 out of 4 homes that went under contract were new construction. And we had 68 homes close, which again was about a third of those were new construction. So very interesting there. I also want to look at the red, yellow, and green just to look at and see how we're doing as far as month supply. Green means we have less than 3 months supply. Now, if you remember the 800 to 900,000, we actually were a little bit low on supply, but we've had a few new homes come on the market. I mean, this week we had 5 come on. Now, 3 of those pended, though, by the way. But I've been saying all along, it does not take much in that price range to really influence that market. If you are on our email list, you will receive this like we send out every week. If you watch this and you're not on our email list, please holler at us in the comments. You can do that and we'll get you on the email list. You can go to our website, turnervictory.com. Click contact there, fill out the form, and just put in there you want to be added to the weekly email list, and we will get you on there. So let's look at some charts here. Let me scroll back up. So this is our charts for Rutherford County. The first one is active inventory. And you can see, I talked last week how we had leveled out. Well, we did see a slight increase this week. So we were wondering if that was going to happen or not. It's nothing that has really happened quickly. And we'll look at one reason why it's not going very quickly here in a minute. So month supply, that's been staying fairly level. We are up to 3.37 right now, but we've been floating around that for a while. Even if we go back to last year, we were getting close to 3. And as a matter of fact, most of the summer, we stayed above 3. So no real changes there. One of the interesting trends that we continue to see is the new listings. Our new listings continue to trail below last year. If you notice, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the past 8 weeks, we've had less new listings than we had last year. And if we compare that to 2024, the past 2 or 3 weeks, we've been right about where we were 2024. So not a huge influx of new listings. The pendings really tell the story. So if y'all remember back, we talked about that we thought as far as sales going on this year that we would be somewhere between the 2023 numbers and the 2024 numbers, and 2023 was better. So basically we were at 2023 was here, 2024 went down, 2025 went further down. I'll tell you right now, speaking of going further down, I have officially declared the summer of 2025 as the bottom of the market on this cycle. It does look like from a sales standpoint that we have been gone from that far enough that we have definitely seen some real trends. Obviously, things going on in the Middle East can affect things. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but just based upon what we've been looking at, it does look like the bottom was about 7 or 8 months ago. But let me pull a little bit of this information off here. Let's pull off 2023 right now. And if you pull off 2023, you can see every week but 1 week, our pending sales have been above 2024 and 2025 numbers. And that 1 week was the week we had the ice storm. So that really, in my opinion, does not count. If we swap it the other way, let's put 2023 back on there. We have been pretty close to what we did in 2023. I mean, we're running below it, don't get me wrong, but much closer to 2023 numbers than we are 2024 or 2025. So that's very interesting. And the other thing to look at, I like playing with these, little turn them on and off here. So if we look at the 2025 numbers, let me get this set up here. There we go. Notice how our pendings have been running ahead of 2025 all year, except for the week of the ice storm. So definitely pending home sales are above last year. And whenever we looked at the new listings being below last year, that certainly, we're not seeing it yet, but that certainly seems like if we don't have an influx of new listings that we may see some tightening of the market. So it's something we've been keeping our eye on. Monthly closings, we'll get to all those later. A couple other things I wanted to talk about. Active inventory by price range right here. And as you know, the 300,000s and 400,000s are our most active price range. They're almost even with the number of active homes we have. Also, whenever you look at the active relist, the 300s definitely are high and the 400s are high. But the 500s are very high. They're compared because if you look at it, they have less inventory here. So the best way to look at this is the percentage of relist, and 30% of the homes in the 500,000 price range have been relisted. 25 of 72, so almost 35% of the homes in the $700,000 price range have been relisted. So that's quite a bit. That tells you that pricing really matters, and that's what we're seeing in this market. As a matter of fact, I've got the stat here. We're still looking at homes that had to reduce their price just across the board, not specific price ranges, but any home in Rutherford County that had to reduce their price, it has taken on average 82 days for that house to sell. For the homes that did not have to reduce their price, which tells you that they were presented correctly, they were promoted correctly, and they were priced correctly, 31 days for them to go under contract. So that's a 51-day penalty if you overprice your home. So it doesn't mean it won't sell. It just means it takes longer. And the stats that we've looked at, it actually shows that you are going to walk away from the table with less money if you've overpriced, and depending on how much you've overpriced. But if it's more than 2% overpriced, you are going to walk away definitely with less money on average. So just some of the stats that we've been looking at and analyzing. Busiest zip codes, 37128, 37129, and 37167. So the two Smyrna zip codes, and then two Murfreesboro zip codes and the Smyrna zip code. Also, if you look at the average true days on the market versus the MLS days, you could see the difference there. And in your smaller price ranges, not a whole lot of difference, but as we start moving up, definitely a big difference. Like the 600,000, it's 51 days versus the MLS is showing 40. The showings per listing right now, whenever I look at the average for the week, we're about 1.73 showings. So if you're on the market, you could expect somewhere between 1 and 2 showings on average for the week. This is the 30-day rolling average, and it has gone up. And this is as far as the showings go. The interesting thing will be to see if this continues, because what we have seen is the 30-year fixed rate has gone up. It did bottom out at 5.98%. It has gone up to 6.11%. Now, that's not a huge jump. As a matter of fact, it's less than what I expected. But because of what's been going on in the Middle East, because of the inflation concerns about the price of oil, and then whenever oil and gas increase, it increases the cost of everything. So until that's settled, I would expect mortgage rates to continue to go up a little bit, but I am very pleased that they've only gone up, about 0.1%. So that's a lot better than what I thought it would be. Let's just put it that way. So we will see over the next couple of weeks whether it's affecting our showings or not, because every little bit it goes up, things get a little bit less affordable for a buyer. Speaking about affordability, here's a pretty neat chart here. So this chart is the household income you need to afford the purchase of a typical home in your city. Okay, and this is done by the big major metropolitan areas. So we'll look at Nashville here in a minute, which Rutherford County is included in that whole area. But across the nation, it takes right now $93,000 in income to afford the typical home in that city. Okay. It was at 98.9, and right here was 99. So it did cap out at almost 100,000, and that's across the nation. But let's look at Nashville in particular. So this is Nashville numbers. Man, you go back to January of 2016, $46,000 a year, and you could afford the typical home in the Nashville area. So we definitely have seen that climb up. the interesting thing is, as COVID was hitting, this was going down because this is January of 20. But starting in 2021, this large increase right here, and y'all know it. I mean, everything increased in price right there. But here's something I want to point out. In the Nashville area, we topped out at almost $120,000 of income needed to afford the typical home. So nearly $120,000. Right now, we're at $107,000. So that is certainly a positive from an affordability standpoint. And if you remember when we started this, talking about this, we were talking about affordability and that homes are becoming, we're trending in the right direction. And this is what we're talking about. So now it takes $13,000 less dollars in income a year to afford the typical home here in our area. I know it's still not where a lot of you would like it, but this is the reason why we're seeing the influx in pendings. Mortgage rates have dropped. Wages have gone up a little bit. And, last week we talked about the FHFA charts and that for the fourth quarter, they showed us being flat as far as pricing goes. On top of that, we've got sellers that are very negotiable for the most part with closing costs or price or something like that. So it is making it much more affordable for a person to buy a home. With that said, I was talking about our inventory, that we're not bringing on as many new listings as what we were in the past. So that is something to keep an eye on because if that inventory gets tighter, affordability gets a little bit tougher as well. That is what we've got for you for the Murfreesboro Real Estate Report this week. I hope the information that we share with you is helpful. I hope whether you're a real estate agent, whether you're a buyer or a seller or just one of our friends, first of all, if you've made it this far, thank you. I've talked to several of y'all and you're like, man, I love watching your videos. And, my response being here from the South is bless your heart, but maybe you like data as much as I do because it is pretty neat. But for those of y'all who just like the high level stuff, that's we like bringing you just a few tidbits as well. And here are a few little tidbits too that maybe I didn't cover, just so you know that we were up 13%, or we were down 13% on new listings. If you need that number right there. Big number right here, 32% of all active listings have reduced their price. So 1 out of 3 homes on the market have reduced their price, and they've done it by an average of 4.2%. So that's a couple other numbers for you data geeks, or if you're just someone who likes to have a number or two that you can throw out to help explain the market. Again, I'm John Turner. I'm the team lead of the Turner Victory team. Feel free to check us out at turnervictory.com or comment here if you'd like to. But we hope this information is helpful, whether you're looking to do a real estate transaction or not. Sometimes people just like to know what's going on. That's one of the questions we get all the time is, how's the real estate market? Well, here you go. You just got a deep dive into it today. So thank you for tuning in this week. We appreciate all y'all who do. We enjoy bringing this to you. And until next week, we hope you make it a great week, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.